Hey y'all. So recently I've asked my friends, what I should talk about on my YouTube channel and everything like that, just to kick it off. And I got a lot of great ideas. Um so first I'm just gonna start out with co-parenting because that's what I do. I have two children and I have to co-parent because I'm not with the fathers. So when it comes to co-parenting, it's hard in the beginning because you have to learn to be without that other part of you. So if you went through a bad breakup, or if you went through some type of betrayal or anything like that, and you don't want to speak to that person, it's going to be extremely hard to co-parent because you don't like this person. So one thing I have to say when it comes to co-parenting is you have to take your feelings out of it completely. Like, you really have to focus primarily on the needs of your child. So with that being said, the first tip for me, you got to check your feelings at the door. And that's not easy, and it's going to take some time. And trust and believe me, as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, I still have my moments where I'm just flipping out and I'm going off or whatever the case may be. But you still have to check your feelings at the door. So there's a lot of feelings you're going to have. You may have hurt. You may be angry. So, in the beginning, I could say I was hurt. Then I turned angry. Like, there's stages of anger. So when you think about it, you have to go through the motions. So you do have to go through. Nobody's telling you not to be angry, but you have to check your feelings at the door. Point blank, period. Like, you got to let it go. And the moment you let it go, it'll be a little easier for you. So you have to find little things, to get yourself in a better headspace. That's my first tip. My second tip is you have to distance yourself. So in order for you to check your feelings at the door, you have to be real with yourself. You just got to be like, listen, he ain't the one for me. He did this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is. I mean, if y'all split on good terms, even when you split on good terms, something happens and shit just goes left. And when it goes left, it's hard to reel it back in. So you have to distance yourself. Distance yourself from that person. So that way you're able to check your feelings at the door, really. So you really have to distance yourself. You have to start going out with your friends, spending more time with your children, spending more time with yourself. For me, I had to get a little bit more spiritual because I was mad. So I had to find some type of inner peace because with some situations you can look at the person, you can say hi to the person, you can be cool with the person, whatever the case may be. In other cases, you're not. And every time you see this person, it ignites a fire in you. So you have to distance yourself from that person. Distance yourself. We're in a great day and age where it's easy to distance yourself from somebody because you have text messaging. You ain't really got to talk to nobody. You can speak to family members. There's other people that can mediate for you. So my second tip would be distancing yourself from that person. Let's see. The third one, you have to set boundaries. So when it comes to my children, if they're in their father's care, there ain't no boundary on what time I call, because I'm going to call whenever I want to call. But let's not get it twisted. There's no reason for you to call when your child is asleep. Let's just be real with that. But if I want to call at any given time to ask any question, you have that right as a parent. But you still have to set boundaries. So if that's don't call me past a certain time, if that's don't FaceTime me past a certain time, if that's setting up visitation, like, on your own, whatever the boundary is that you need to set it. Do not sleep with this person anymore. Like, it's done, it's done. It's done. Do not sleep with this person anymore. You're going to have moments where you may just fall back into a feeling, because females do that. Men do it too, but females do it. You fall back into a feeling. Don't fall on no feelings. Don't do that. Just The moment that you want to fall on a feeling, remember the worst feeling. That's my best advice for you. The moment you want to fall back on a feeling, remember the worst feeling that you had with that person. Fall back on that shit. And then you will say, okay, you know what? No, thank you. Not happening. No, sir. Not today. No. So let's see. I think I gave you 4. I hope I gave you 4. My last one. What are you sneezing for? That's my cat. He's bugging. Are you done? Okay. So, let's see. So I told you check your phones at the door. I told you to distance yourself. Ooh, you have to remain respectful. Child. Now respect goes across so many different levels. Like, this is something I struggle with. So this is why I'm sitting here like, popcorn, kettle black. But you have to be respectful. So whether that means only communicating via text message, because if you hear a voice, that person's voice, his or her voice, and that ignites a flame in you, then opt to only text messages, so that way you don't become disrespectful. When it comes to your children, it's hard, because we always want to think that me, mommy, I have the best interest at heart. But daddy may have the best interest at heart too, but because I'm mad, I'm saying he don't have the best interest at heart because he did X, Y, and Z. That's not always the case, but when you're mad, these things are going to happen. So just try your best to respect each other. So that goes to the setting boundaries too. Once you start setting them boundaries, you let this person know what's disrespectful and what's not. Like, okay, so all right, y'all not together no more, y'all moved on. So if the disrespect would be him bringing another woman around your child, or if the disrespect would be her bringing another man around your child, you got to set them boundaries from the beginning, so that way that disrespect don't even happen. So it doesn't even happen. That the ultimate types of disrespect. The other little minimal arguments and getting disrespectful or whatever the case may be, y'all can work around that. That's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. But it's okay. You can do it. So I told you to... here's the thing with the whole friendship thing. After a while, y'all should be able to be friends, but that's down the line, so that's not even part of my co-parenting tip. So when you set boundaries, and of course you want to set goals when it comes to your child, so that make sure that when it comes to your child, you two are on the same level. So if that's any type of learning activities, sometimes people can't go on outings together. But any type of learning activity, any goal that you have for your child, make sure that your partner knows the goal that you have for your child. So that way there's your ex-partner. Your ex-partner. Courtney. Make sure that y'all are on the same path, on the same goal when it comes to your child's educational journey, their mental, their physical, everything. Make sure that y'all on the same page. Because this is leading into my final tip for co-parenting. Everything with the child has to be transparent. So sometimes we split when the child doesn't know the difference. Sometimes we split when the child knows the difference. So when the child knows the difference, when the child knows that mommy's not there or daddy's not there anymore, that needs to be a transition, and it needs to be transparent. Like, if y'all know that y'all not doing too well and y'all about to go your separate ways, if you don't live in the same household, then it's easier. If you live in the same household, it has to be transparent, because abandonment starts with mommy and daddy, and that's what it boils down to. And I'm saying this from experience because my parents were not together when I grew up. So abandonment starts with mommy and daddy. When you're around one parent more than you're around the other, then you start to wonder why you can't be around daddy, or why you're not around mommy all the time, or whatever the case may be. So whatever decision that you two decide as adults, the child does not need to know exactly what's going on. The child does not need to know every single argument. You know what I'm saying? When their child is a baby and you argue, You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. And I say this, but we're only human. So if you argue, and it is most times it's in fits of rage. So you just really have to try. It all boils down to respecting each other. It boils down to setting boundaries. It boils down to being on the same page when it comes to your child. And it boils down to it all being transparent. It has to be transparent because children sense everything. So as long as children sense everything, they will pick up on everything. So when mommy's not happy, the child is that's the energy that you're giving your child. So just don't pass that negative energy onto your child. I know it's hard. And women are not the only culprit when it comes to co-parenting and the shit not going right. Okay? Be real on that one. So those are my tips, guys. And that's basically it. It's not easy, but you can do it. You'll get to the point where you guys will be able to talk and, do certain things. And just don't be petty. And being petty is hard for a lot of people, including me. So try not to be petty. Try, and if you are going to be petty, you're going to have your moments. And that's what it boils down to, because we're all humans. But at the end of the day, it's all about the child. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than him. It's bigger than her. Whoever's watching this video. It's bigger than the other person. It's all about your child. So that's that. Those are your little 5 or 6 tips. I don't know how many I gave you, but I'll be numbering them throughout the video. But those are your tips, my friends. Be cool. Be breezy.